Was going past then in the queue with a rag wiping the windscreen inside, so they do have a foggy problem inside.
Seaton is in again, and Brock and Madecki in also. People taking advantage of this pace car to sort out their problems.
There's the ambulance moving down Conrod Straight to Caltex Chase, then take Denny into the medical centre, as I said here, which is located near the pits.
You can see how quietly he's going. These neck injuries are pretty tricky items, and they wouldn't want to bump him in any way.
We've had all the conditions today. The race starting under the threat of rain.
It's getting worse, by the way, the weather. Rain hasn't got any heavier for the moment, but the cloud cover is just getting lower and lower.
Interesting to see how long it takes for 1,000 Ks of a wet race at Mount Panorama at Bathurst.
I mentioned that Seaton had come in again, Mike. Brock and Madecki, all of those cars had come in to have their windscreens cleaned. Quite remarkable. The ambulance is going straight to the hospital, we've just been informed. They're not going to the medical centre, they are going straight to the hospital.
We'll keep you up to date with Denny Holmes' condition from the hospital as soon as we have it. In the meantime, I think they need the tow trucks in to remove the B&H BMW.
It'll be interesting to see, as you say, Mike, whether they let the field form up in their positions. At the moment, the leading car, number 1, is behind Chicotto in car 25. So they'll probably hold station until the track's clear, and maybe we'll see them form up in their correct positions before they go back to the green.
See, that's sometimes how racing luck plays for you. I guess if they came in behind the race leader, or brought Jimmy Richards up behind the pace car, the first 5 or 6 then lined up. At this stage, Chicotto could well go down a lap as soon as the pace car pulls off the circuit.
That's right.
The other hassle is that so many of the fast cars are behind slower cars, and in these conditions they're going to have to get round them, and it's going to add another spice to the mix.
Extraordinary weather conditions. There's Denny's car being loaded onto the rescue truck. Just with New South Wales in the grip of one of its worst droughts in history, 2/3 of the state in drought conditions. One Sunday in 365 days it decides to pour down.
Although the record of the race has been reasonably good. It's been a dry race for ages. I think you went back to the Bartlett when the very wet day. Then, of course, we had the rain-interrupted race.
1987.
Of 87.
The year of Glenn Seaton, even though he didn't win anything, he was certainly the most spectacular driver here.
So it's been a reasonably dry period for the Tooheys 1000, and, of course, the Hardy Classic before that. But it throws everything up. It's certainly playing well and truly into the hands of the Nissan drivers today with the advantage of the four-wheel drive, and they're doing it very, very comfortably indeed. 17, John Bow out there still running in second spot, and Neil Crompton into third in the number 2 car.
4th place, as we've said, held by the 25 Benson and Hedges car, Tony Longhurst and Johnny Chicotto. Chicotto driving at the moment, and strictly for those punters in New South Wales, where the TAB is betting trifecta on the running of the great race. Don't be confused. On the TAB betting sheets, yes, the Longhurst car is number 12. But the actual race car number is 25. So if you put your money on number 12, you haven't made a mistake. Everything's all right.
Gary, settle down. It's not three-way turf talk.
Well, the field continues to circulate behind the pace car. Shouldn't be long before they have the Denny Holm car back in the pits. Let's update you now on the Caltex race score. Jimmy Richards continues to lead the great race. The Winfield Nissan GTR. Second on the road at the moment is John Bow and Dick Johnson's Shell Sierra. Third is Neil Crompton in the second of the Winfield Nissan GTRs. Fourth, number 25, is Johnny Chicotto. And rounding out the 5, number 15, Bradley Jones at the wheel of the HRT Commodore. Back in a sec. Crunch. He's given that plenty on the exit to Repco. And 31.
Robbie Kerr.
The Kiwi. Gets it around sideways, but is able to keep it off the wall.
And Denny Holm, once again, a nasty glance off that concrete wall.
it just doesn't look that dramatic. You can't imagine somebody being hospitalised after a bump like that.
I was amazed at the lack of damage of the car. We had the close-up from the chopper cam on the repair truck.
It didn't even lose paint, did it?
No. Well, we'll have an update from the hospital and keep you informed during the course of today's telecast.
So, car's holding position. Nissan still in first position. Dick Johnson in second. Second Nissan. Neil Compton at the wheel in third position. Tony Longhurst. Johnny Chicotto at the wheel now, I believe, in car 25. Alan Grice in the HRT car 16 in fifth position. As Trevor Ashby.
They're bringing in the Lansvale Smash Repairs, the Dulux Auto Colour machine.
They couldn't get the wheel off before. They brought it in to change tyres and couldn't get, I think it was the right, well, we're looking at it now. Front right wheel off, and they're trying to get that off now. Richard Hay is in the pits.
Thank you, Doug. You're absolutely right. That's exactly the problem. The wheel nut is stuck on. They sent him back out so that they didn't lose any more time earlier on. Now they're pouring cold water on it. The metal, obviously, the metal of the hub actually expands when it gets to a very high temperature, and it's expanded at a faster rate than the nut itself, hence it's kept the nut locked on. That's the problem, and there's still no joy in getting that wheel off.
Well, I don't know about pouring cold water on it. It's poured cold water on their chances.
There's all sorts of debate about these single lock wheel nuts. Oh, there they go. They've got it off at last. And they're still taking advantage of this, the queue, but unfortunately,
they were in 12th position when
they'll probably drop a lap. I think they'll close the pit exit. If they can get out now.
They'll need to do it right now, though. They can't afford to waste any more time.
Go Trevor. He was in 12th. He'd hate to lose that position.
The whistles blow. Trevor gets back into the action. And let's see.
He'll make it.
He's okay. Well, that's all right for the Lansvale Smash Repair boys. Took advantage of the pace lap. Got that stuck wheel off. Yellow flag still out. Pace car still on the circuit. As you can see, conditions absolutely atrocious.
Good shot of the punters and the crowd behind the pace car. The lights are out, so we're heading back to a restart. As they come down the Conrod Straight this time. Jimmy Richards, the number 1 Winfield Nissan GTR. This is going to throw a few cards in the air because Johnny Chicotto, I believe, was fairly close to making a change with the Tony Longhurst. They come around. Don't forget, right across Australia, this is for our Australian viewers, we have an opportunity today to nominate that number 0055-60375. We'll leave that up for a moment. You can give that a call, nominate who you think will finish first, second and third in the great race today. And the lines are open till 4 o'clock, so you can't hang on the phone until 5 minutes before the race finishes. 0055-60375. You give your number and, of course, your name, and then nominate the 3 car numbers you think will finish, and you could win a trip to the Indy 500.
I bet everybody that rang in the first hour has rung back.
Yes, I bet they have. It's going to change all day. Good competition, that. You can win a trip to the for 2, courtesy of Jet Set Tours, to the 93 Indy 500 and 6 nights accommodation. In the meantime, we have the pace car. The lights are off.
The sky is falling up on top of the mountain. I mean, you can't see up there.
Saturation point. Now panorama. Hail of gloom hanging over.
Oh, pace car heads to the pits, and the great race resumes with Jimmy Richards, car number 1, the Winfield Nissan.
The Rainmaster. Aboard the car, renowned as the Rainmaster.
And isn't that a bonus? He's at least going to get a few laps without any cars in front of him now, so he's not going to have to worry about any of that. And just look at him take off. The 4-wheel drive, Nissan GTR.
Bye-bye. He's just spread eagle the field on pit straight. It's called 100, 200 metres on them already.
Dillman Cotter, Impala Kitchen's car going through. It's down a lap. And that will give you some idea of the advantages of a 4-wheel drive touring car in the wet.
Look at this thing. Over 500 horsepower, the spray punching off 4 wheels. Undoubtedly one of the best touring car drivers in the world at the wheel. 44-year-old Jimmy Richards, originally from New Zealand. Went on to a tremendous racing career in Australia. 4 times Australian touring car champion, 3 times Bathurst winner. A guy with 4 times Bathurst winner. I'll take it back. 19th Bathurst starter, guy with enormous experience, and he will revel in these conditions. You can just see on the surface of the road there the amount of rain that's falling on Mount Panorama. It is a deluge.
Jimmy Richards will be so pleased to be out of that spray. Here's that Lansvale Commodore again, Trevor Ashby. What is the problem this time? Mechanical.
Everything was going smooth for them. The first quarter of the race, and they've been in now a couple of times.
Bad luck for these guys. They've made increasingly improved performances at Bathurst over the years. They were certainly hoping for a top 5 finish here. But problems fairly early in the race. What are we, almost 2 hours into the event now? The bonnet's up, the engine revving, and there's some sort of problem below the bonnet of the Lansvale Smash Repairs Commodore VN. We go in closer. Engine shut down.
Engine's off. Lap 43, 161. Oops. I thought that was a wide approach. But under normal circumstances, I didn't allow for its four-wheel drive capabilities. Doesn't it turn nicely?
Remarkable amount of brake noise coming from the Nissan GTRs all week. When they've been coming into the pits, or you even heard there, a really loud squeal.
We noticed that in practice. In fact, I was suggesting they were having transmission problems.
But look at Jim. He's making this race his own as he sprints off into the distance.
They're probably using extremely hard pads. I'd say that's what it is. That's where we're getting the noise from.
Let's go down to Johnny Brady in the pits.
Yes, thanks, Mike. The problem with the Lansvale car is they've got a missing. It just keeps missing as it's going along. They've got a spare set of plugs out there. Try and take through all of that and just see what they can sort that way. The rain obviously is not helping things one little bit, but water's got into the thing as well. I reckon that might be causing the problem in the electrics. But it's a bit of a lottery with these things, particularly when they get wet, because there's so much computer gear on them. A miss can be a very hard thing to spot, particularly when you're throwing a bit of rain over all the electrical gear, and that's what's happened now. It becomes something like a jigsaw puzzle of a race to put it back together. Revving it up now, and largely what they can do is just take it out and see if the miss keeps reoccurring. But it's certainly a problem made harder by the wet, and as you can see, they're still not happy with it, so they've turned her off and they're back under the bonnet again.
Thanks, Johnny Brady. Jim Richards, meanwhile, carving his own niche around this 6.2-kilometre circuit. Look at the rain. Just enormous plumes of spray coming out as we say that. Steve Harrington.
Larry Perkins coming in very slowly.
Steve Harrington at the wheel, limping into pit lane. And this will be one of the most unexpected failures. If this car's having mechanical drama, he's looking for a push. Deary me.
Well, the crew have gone running down pit lane to try and get him up into position. But Steve Harrington, who took over Larry, done such a fine job early in the race. And the car has quit on them.
There's one thing you see very rarely on a Perkins car, and that's some mechanical failure. He builds them like tanks. And here comes the crew pushing it. They've got a fairly long push, about 150 metres back to the Perkins pit bay.
And that is a real surprise. Perkins so consistent, did so well at Sandown. The car was in the 14s in the top 10 shootout, and now obviously bereft of power. Here we are, another drama.
Really is surprising. Larry was in 5th position. Or
This is the Wayne Park 35 car, the Peter Jackson Sierra.
He's given the wall a severe clout.
He was lucky to get back.
So there'll be all sorts of damage under their brake ducts. You can see the brake duct there damaged, front spoiler, all sorts of stuff. 35 was in the top 10, position 9 they were running in difficult conditions, which was a good effort. Now it appears to have come to naught. Anyway, back at Larry Perkins' pit.
Very busy time, Richard Hay.
Certainly is. They're not absolutely sure what the problem is. I tell you, it's mayhem down here in pit lane. The rain is pouring down. Perkins' car was being pushed up the pit lane while the Wayne Park Sierra was coming in, which has been involved in an incident. They've got the car fired up again now.